What's going on, YouTube? Drano's back at it again, bringing you guys another video. So back at it here on Ultimate Team. I know it feels like it's been a minute since I posted a video on here, but we're back. I've just myself, just getting mentally prepared. For those who don't know, shortly after the Madden Club Championships had just ended, about what was it, last week, they announced the next tournament that's going to come out. And it's actually going to be the Madden Classic. So for those who aren't aware, that is the next tournament coming up in a couple weeks, and I've been just trying to lock in, trying to get ready for that, and just have a good showing. I think that's the biggest thing to me. I just want to have a good showing. I'm not trying to, embarrass myself at that tournament. So just been locking in, trying to figure out, what teams work with what schemes and whatnot. So if you guys want to follow my journey there, I will be streaming quite a bit. A lot of regs, and I'll still stream like Weekend League and stuff like that too. Follow me at twitch.tv/DranoTVs. We'd love to have you guys come through there and just have a good time. Really, I think that's the biggest thing. I know that for both Xbox and PS4, the tournaments for, I think it's like the ladder play, it starts on Saturday and Sunday, so I'll be pretty busy with that, but wanted to get this video out to you guys before then. And then I may look to do kind of like a little strategy video for those who are considering playing, just some things to to think about, and just the thought process as far as getting prepared for a tournament if this is something that you're doing for the first time. So but for today's video, mainly focus on MUT again, so basically just building off of the previous video that I did where I talked about the abilities. Now last time I talked about the quarterbacks, because obviously quarterbacks, in my opinion, that's kind of a make or break thing. I think it's the most important position in Madden and in MUT, no less. So went ahead. There was one ability that I didn't get a chance to go over, and that's because on Madden School's website they didn't have it on there, but it was the QB Playmaker, which actually you guys can see here. I have it on my Russell Wilson here. QB Playmaker is a great option. If the only downside is that it is quite a bit of AP, but the thing I like about it is that you can apply it whenever you playmaker someone, any one of your receivers is able to get it. So if as opposed to one of the the wide receiver playmaker, which I'll probably talk about in this video later, as opposed to just that one specific receiver getting it, any one of your receivers that you send out, and I guess so, that's close to the quarterback, is able to be playmakered. So you're not as predictable to your opponent, because I know especially some of these guys that are really locked in and are really good at the game and can make adjustments, they're going to be able to take away that playmaker pretty easily. And with how the man-to-man meta is nowadays, it's going to be hard to try to do anything else without that. So just wanted to throw that out there before we go ahead and start. So let's go ahead, take a look at the the offensive abilities that I think you should consider for your squad. Let's go ahead and jump into it. All right, guys, so we're back. We do have the abilities brought to you by, again, Madden School. Shout out Madden School. Always a great resource. I think year after year, they're really, really good when it comes to this kind of stuff. So, as you guys can see here, we have the skill positions, so halfback, tight end, and wide receiver abilities. I'd hope that you'd be smart enough not to put an ability on your fullback. So, just looking through here, second win's not bad. I think, second win would be good if you decided to use an escape artist quarterback. And reason for that being is just escape artist quarterbacks, the moment that you use that, your quarterback most likely is going to be really tired. They're going to be yellow, and if it's something that you continue to spam, they're going to be red. So second win, I believe it helps you, recuperate a little bit quicker in that case, but I'm not wasting an ability point there. Energizer, no. Return man, no. Reach for it, I think Reach for it was really good up until this patch that just came out. Naturally your players were getting the Reach for it animation without the patch, and now I feel like with the most recent patch that came out, now if you want to get those animation, it looks like you need this specific ability. So again, though, I mean, how many times do you see in a game where you actually need a Reach for it? I'm not 100% sure, to be perfectly honest with you, but if you're, especially if you're more of a runner, I could see this being kind of useful. Same goes to, along with balance beam and tank. more running back abilities more than anything. So if running is more of your style, these are some great abilities to have. Balance beam is good for like to prevent like the stumbling animations. And then tank, let me take a look at tank. I'm not quite as familiar with tank. It says ball carriers with this ability will break almost any hit stick. So if your opponent tries to hit stick you, it'll be able to break that tackle. So okay, not a bad ability there. Human joystick. Oh my god, I hated this ability last year in 20 because it was so OP. But the thing with human joystick now is I think it depends on the position, but human joystick is like 10 AP, so not worth it at all, really, in this case. Leapfrog, I've never really used Leapfrog that much. Jukebox, you know, when you think of the OP abilities last year for Madden 20, it was armbar and jukebox. Armbar is pretty much kind of nerfed. Like, you don't really see armbar that much nowadays, but jukebox you definitely still see out there from time to time. It was usually between jukebox and spin cycle, so you can kind of pick your poison there. Both pretty good abilities to put out there. Again, for me, I'm not one to really try to be juking like crazy because most of the time that leads to fumbles. So in this case, so there's that. Bulldozer, again, another one of those kind of more for like the trucking backs. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily use it in this case. I'll be quite frank with you guys. I'm not really much of a runner at all, so I'm probably not the best person to go to when it comes to these running abilities. I'm just going based off of what I've seen other people use. Like I said, spin cycle is decent. Bruiser, evasive, I mean, they're like all those running abilities are decent if you're runners. It's just I don't use them, so like I said, I'm not the best person to go over that. Now, next ability that's pretty solid in my opinion, especially with regs coming up, that I noticed that I believe it was Aaron Jones, running back from the Packers, gets, is backfield mismatch. You're able to get better catching and traffic and route running out of the backfield against linebackers, so that's actually really good. I like that ability because with the meta how it is nowadays, you need any type of advantage, and especially the two positions where I think you can exploit man-to-man the most is from your tight end position and your running back, because those guys can't be pressed in that case. So you're automatically getting a free release from those guys. So you got to use those guys to your advantage. And backfield mismatch is a solid option, although I will say I've got one other ability that I think is kind of trump that ability. But this isn't bad, you know, depending on the position, or archetype, you can get it for 1 AP. If you go power, it's 2, but if you have a power back, you do not need to be running backfield mismatch, in my opinion. And then we got Matchup Nightmare, which I've recently started to use on Darren Waller, my tight end. Really, really good ability because it helps you it says receivers with this ability make sharper cuts and frequently win contested catches. So again, really just to help you with the man-to-man meta, really. And Darren Waller is really good considering he's what, like 6'6", and he's able to go ahead and basically just moss all the linebackers or the safeties that are on him. I feel like he's one of the best guys to use this ability on. And again, you could use it on pretty much any skill position. I think for me anyways, I think it'd make the most sense on the tight end because, like I said, again, that's one of the positions that's going to help you against this man-to-man meta. Then we've got Slot-O-Matic, which it's great. For me, it's basically between this and then Route Tech. It's just obviously, if I'm not mistaken, with this you have to be in the slot. Whereas with Route Tech, you don't necessarily. So if you want to put this specifically on a guy that you have in the slot, this is a great option for you. It's just, in this case, the AP is kind of high, but I've seen guys cook with this ability. So if you're going to use them, you're probably going to want a slot archetype because it gets it for 1 AP. Or at the very most a route running wide receiver, because then it's 2, because anything after that it does start to get a little crazy. I don't know if I'd put it on a tight end, to be honest. So yeah, just those receivers I think could make the most sense. So Slot-O-Matic, solid. Red zone threat, I'm not sure what happened. This was one of my favorite abilities for the last couple weeks, and then after this patch, I'm not sure if it's because I'm not timing the throws right or what, but I feel like this kind of got patched because before then, red zone threat, anytime that I saw a one-on-one on a chance within like the 15 or 20, I'm waiting for my receiver to get into the end zone, and then I'm throwing it like basically as if it was like a back shoulder or back shoulder throw, and receivers would get crazy abilities, or not crazy abilities, crazy animations. So red zone threat, I still like it. I think I need to lab it a little bit more to get the timing back, because before my timing was really good, and then I'm not sure what happened with this patch. It just made it really bad, so I'm not sure. I'll have to work on it. But again, red zone threat's good because it's only 1 AP too, so if you have 1 AP just kind of out there just sitting there, maybe something you want to consider. Like I mentioned before, route tech is really, really good in my opinion. Now, as far as how it works against one step aheads, I'm not 100% sure, because I am transitioning back from next gen to current gen, for those who don't know. And current gen, I know the meta is going to be completely different. I don't think I'm ready for it, but we're going to make it happen somehow. If you're going to use route tech, you're going to want to probably use it on a route running or slot receiver. And I've seen even some people go as far as to put it on their tight end, so definitely not a bad idea there. So basically the backfield mismatch, kind of like on steroids in my opinion, is this backfield master, because not only do you get the improved route running and catching against the linebackers, but you get 4 extra routes. So if you're someone that doesn't necessarily run like hot route master, this is going to help you. It's a great ability. You're able to get those running back routes that help you against this man-to-man meta. And the great thing about it too is that it's only, if you get a receiving back, it's only 1 AP. So for example, someone such as myself, I use Alvin Kamara and he gets it for 1 AP. That's a steal considering how much damage you can do with that. And I've done a lot of damage with Kamara, whether it be on wheel routes, option routes, whatever the case may be. He cooks linebackers just because he's able to get those sharper cuts against them. So great ability to have. In my opinion, for the type of offense that I run, I think backfield master is a must, especially considering the value you get for the AP there. Now, next couple of abilities, and I'll just kind of jumble them all together. We have all the route apprentices. So we got running back apprentice, wide receiver apprentice, slot apprentice, and outside apprentice. So a lot of these, what the difference is just depends on where you line up the receiver. So in this case, running back, obviously it's a running back position. Wide receiver apprentice, they actually get it everywhere. You can put them anywhere you want, and they'll get the ability. Then you've got slot apprentice, so more for like those slots. So kind of on the lines with like Slotomatic, just instead of the cutting, it's more for the actual routes. And then you have outside apprentice, so like more of like your outside guys. A lot of it just depends on the formation. I know for me, for some of the abilities I run, it's actually still considered the slot. I don't know, it's really weird, but it's mainly those outside guys. Now, me personally, for the offense that I run, because I do run bunch, slot apprentice I think is a must if you're not going to run hot route master. And then a wide receiver apprentice is cool too, but I think I'm not sure is there any receivers in MUT that get that as of yet. I'm not 100% sure. And then outside apprentice and running back apprentice, I don't think they're that great. Outside apprentice, I don't use at all. And then running back apprentice, if I'm going to use that, I'm going to just get backfield master and get an additional bonus with it. Plus, running back apprentice is 2 AP as opposed to backfield master only being 1. So I'm not going to use running back apprentice. And then as far as the short, mid, and deep out elites, again, I personally am not a fan of these. I was at the beginning of the year before the man-to-man meta got crazy, and then I'm not sure what happened. I don't like it. It blows my mind how like there's abilities out there that we have to rely on to help us guarantee catches. I'm just not a fan, and I mean, I may be stubborn saying that, but like again, I'll refer back to in the previous video where I talked about Stiff, how he got cheated by the specific Deadeyes. This is pretty much the same on par with that. It's just obviously with the receivers as opposed to the quarterback. So I don't trust those abilities in my opinion. And then, the last ability that is going to show up on here, we've got Playmaker here. Obviously, you're able to get those sharper cuts. And if you're on current gen, you're able to cut back a little bit quicker as opposed to next gen. Next gen, you can't do that. And it's a good ability. It's just, like I said, you really got to be careful against those guys that can adjust very, very, very quickly, because they're going to lock that up pretty quick. They'll let you have it like once or twice, but then once they catch on as far as what you're doing, you're pretty much done. It's going to be GG's after that. So, but still a good ability to have because it's only 4 AP, so I recommend it. I enjoyed using it. So for me anyways, just to give you just some insight, I mean, I'm mainly a passer, so as far as like the abilities that I would recommend, I would either recommend Playmaker, Slot Apprentice if you're not going to run Hot Route Master, Backfield Master, Route Tech, Slotomatic, Matchup Nightmare, and Red Zone Threat. So those are just all that you should consider. Obviously, you're not going to be able to get every single one. So it could be one of those things where you kind of play around with the abilities and figure out what works best for your scheme. I think that's the biggest thing, because what I do is not going to work for, some of the guys that watch this video. So it's all of a matter of what your preference is and what works for you. So, and then really just looking through here, I mean, offensive lineman abilities, I don't trust them. I feel like they're so inconsistent. The only one that I ever really used was Edge Protector, and even that kind of got cooked once, Double or Nothings came out, and then, I don't know. So I don't feel like I'm going to waste any AP on my linemen. I probably should, because, it probably would help, but I would rather just use it on my skill position players. But, it could be your thing. I mean, I've seen a lot of the runners that they'll put 5 O-line abilities, and that's when I know that I'm in for a long day. So, again, depends on your scheme, and it's really up to you as far as how you want to execute, and then obviously from there, you pick your abilities. So, that being said, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap up today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my return back. Like I said, it's not that I'm meaning to take this long hiatus off from posting. It's just, I just want to do good. I want to, have a good showing in the Classic, see what we can do from there, see if we can get crazy there. And, I mean, yeah, once the Classic is over, I know there's going to be the Draft Champions tournaments, and then after that, I guess the MUT season's pretty much over, and then we'll be back to our regular scheduled programming. But we're still going to be out here posting videos. I do enjoy, playing competitive, just because me being a former athlete, it just kind of gets those competitive juices flowing. But outside of that, we'll be back at it, though. I still want to produce a content for you guys just to help you guys out. So if you guys enjoyed the video, number one, I'd appreciate you guys hitting that like button. And if you guys are new to the channel, number one, first and foremost, greatly appreciated. Thank you for coming by. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. That way you know when the next video I post goes live. And until the next one, guys, this is Drano's, and I'm signing out. Peace.